Busy schedule? Timing issues? Don't know what to cook tonight? Holla at Chef Red. Services include meal prep, catering, personal chef duties, full-course meals, as well as alternative vegan options. Desserts are stellar. I recommend the banana pudding. Delivery is available for qualifying orders. Contact her on Instagram at Chef Redfern. Tell her J. Daniel sent you.
White people in this country, and I'm talking about non-segregationists, people devoid or thinking they're devoid of racism. Do you have any idea of what they want the Negro to be in America?
Well, it depends on the level that we are talking here, because I think you have to make a distinction between the people who are genuinely and absolutely committed in the white community on the question of racial equality. And I must confess that I think they're in a very small minority. I think the vast majority of white Americans will go but so far. It's a kind of installment plan for equality, and they are always looking for an excuse to go but so far.
Why?
Moonbeam launching in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to Moonbeam Radio. I am your host, J. Daniel. This is episode S320, The Great Hate Debate. Thank you for your time and attention. Your ear gates, eye gates, and heart gate, you are appreciated. Now, if you're new to the show, welcome. And if you're a longtime supporter, welcome back. Now, this week we'll discuss hashtag Stop Asian Hate, Super Straight, Help Is Here tour, Man Down, AstraZeneca approval, mental health gym, and homelessness epidemic. We're gonna talk and laugh, maybe cry, but we will learn together with love. It's J. Daniel, Moonbeam Radio. This portion of our broadcast is brought to you in part by Junemoonmeadia Group, custom DJ services including personalized mixes and virtual hostings for all occasions. Pricing deals going on now. For all inquiries, email us at junemoonmediagroup@gmail.com. So you can follow me on Instagram at Moonbeam Radio, and also on Facebook at J Daniel. That would be Jay Daniel. Now, for all your streetwear apparel and sneakers, check out the homie Get Money Kicks on GMK_Young on Instagram. Now we're gonna jump right into the fray here. Source here is usatoday.com and CNN.com. 8 victims were shot at 3 massage parlors in Georgia. You know this. You've heard the breaking news stories, but we're going to get into it. Now, 4 women were of Asian descent. They're dead. Now, the 4 victims have been identified by the Fulton County Medical Examiner's Office. So, Soon C. Park, she was 74. Hyun J. Grant, she was 51. Suncha Kim, 69. And Young Yu, 63. Now, Atlanta Deputy Police Chief Charles Hampton Jr. said that the motive hasn't been determined officially, but that it was too soon to say whether the suspect specifically targeted these victims. Now, authorities said that Robert Aaron Long, who was 21, indicated he committed the shootings because of a sex addiction. But experts say it's too hard to, here's the term that they use in the official report, disentangle. Right. Meaning remove. So it's hard to remove race from the killings. Now, I have to tell you that Mr. Long, right? He's a white guy. Robert Long. He has waived his right to an initial court appearance in Cherokee County. That's key here. Now, Robert Long opened fire at the Young's Asian Massage. That's in Ackworth, right? He killed 4 people, injuring a 5th. This is the rundown of it. Then he drove 30 miles into Atlanta, killed 4 more people at 2 more spas, the Gold Spa and the Aromatherapy Spa. Long was arrested about 150 miles south of Atlanta. Now, police said he was heading to Florida and intended to carry out more shootings at spas there. But they don't know yet. Can't be sure of that. But he had more ammo, you know. But what I want to do is I want to turn our attention to Cherokee County Sheriff's Office Captain Jay Baker. Take a listen to this.
Yeah, let me go in a little bit of detail. So the suspect did take responsibility for the shootings. He said that early on once we began the interviews with him. He claims that these, and as the chief said, this is still early, but he does claim that it was not racially motivated. He apparently has an issue, what he considers a sex addiction, and sees these locations as something that allows him to go to these places, and it's a temptation for him that he wanted to eliminate. Like I said, it's still early on, but those were comments that he made.
Did he discuss any kind of religious motivation for this, or was he responsible?
Not that I'm aware of. Not that I'm aware of.
Or political?
Non-political. I've heard nothing about politics.
Any sense of his social media history? Is that something you've been able to look at?
That's something that investigators, they've been working on how long, and that's certainly one of the things they'll be doing.
Sheriff, did you have the sense that he understood the gravity of what he did?
When I spoke with investigators, they interviewed him this morning, and they got that impression that yes, he understood the gravity of it, and he was pretty much fed up and kind of at the end of his rope, and yesterday was a really bad day for him, and this is what he did.
Remorseful?
Captain Jay Baker. Pretty much fed up at the end of his rope? Really? So you're excusing this savage behavior? I guess only white shooters and killers get this type of treatment. Now, I want you to know that Captain Jay Baker has been removed from the case because of his comments. Now, killing on any level is unacceptable. To take life is unjust and unacceptable because it is final. These victims are gone. No coming back. And Mr. Robert Long took their lives. It ain't cool. I don't support that because he's still alive. It's very interesting. Because of an alleged sex addiction that gives you carte blanche to take lives because you can't deal with your demons. Now, this hashtag has come up this week. Hashtag Stop Asian Hate has taken over social media. I'm sure you've seen it. I'm not understanding the phenomenon, though. Hear me out. It's grown in its support around the demographic groups, right? Black people in particular have picked up this flag, picked up this hashtag, and lent support to it. That's great. Solidarity is a wonderful thing. The human family, that's wonderful. I love it. But this is the first time that I have heard any mention of Asian people being brown people. First time. Never before have I heard that. Black people have been referred to as black people, and then when you use anything with black people, it's black and brown people. That's usually brown is referring to Caribbean, West Indies, right? Hispanic, Latino culture, right? But never the Far East. Not the Pacific. Haven't heard it linked together before. Why now? Stop Asian hate, yes. But we need to stop hate, period. The fact that you have to say stop Asian hate, yeah, the fact that you have to say Black Lives Matter means that the majority of society, the populace, deem it not so. Whoever's dominant, right? White America. That's why these movements pop up, and you have to say it loud, I'm black and I'm proud. Right? But never before have I seen Asian people given the brown title. Why is that now? Is this a co-opting thing? You know, putting black people first out there, we tag on to it, pile on to it, get your agenda, your whatever your agenda was, execute it. Usually when there's a settlement or a payoff or some kind of political power, right? Or financial, whatever it is, whatever the settlement, the payoff is, then we toss black people back into the bushes. I do not want that to be so and true about this time with the Stop Asian Hate. I don't remember seeing any of this energy from the Asian community when it was time for George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, Tamir Rice, Eric Gardner, Sean Bell. We can keep going. Ahmaud Arbery. That's what I'm saying. We cannot allow this to be co-opted. If we're unifying and Asians and blacks are coming together and going to stay together, no problem. It's a wonderful thing. But if not, then what? I don't want people to be duped again. And let me get at the NAACP real quick. Colored people? You see, who are you for? As a crew, as a set, as an organization, who are you for? Because that colored people thing bothers me. People of of color. That's another thing, the organization that seems to be co-opted and been bought off and corrupt. What have you really done? Like Janet said, what have you done for me lately? What have you really done for the so-called Negro that your name of your organization refers to? What have you done? See, when it's time for all other groups, organizations, sects of people that have an agenda and want it met, you're there pushing it along, supporting it. I saw this on social media this week with this Stop Asian Hate. And I go through the feed on Instagram, and I don't see any current events that NAACP is involved in terms of black people. Other than, okay, so if you have LGBTQ community, there's obviously black people involved in that are part of that community. Police brutality, prison reform, I didn't see any of those stories or posts up for them. What's really going on with the NAACP? But to bring it to a head and to tie this up, killing, not okay. Targeting race and ethnicity, not okay. Light and love to all the families, friends, and communities that have been affected by this latest killing at these spas. I hope that black people and Asian people will still have this camaraderie, this unification once the agenda is met, and then the aftermath of that. I don't want black people to be bamboozled and taken advantage of any more of any kind. And speaking of movements, there's another movement, a new movement stirring up things on social media. It's called Super Straight. You heard me. Now, it began on TikTok, much like all these busset challenges and, pass out challenges. Well, this came across on TikTok. Super straight. What's super straight, Jay? Super straight means that you are strictly heterosexual and are attracted to either men that were born biological men and women that were born biological women. Sounds fair enough, right? Well, it's receiving serious, heavy backlash from the LGBTQ community. Well, why? Why would they hate on that? The great hate debate. Well, it's being dubbed as a hate group, right? Now, wouldn't Super Straight be expressing the same rights as the LGBTQ group we're doing? I mean, same-sex marriages, the ability to be sexually fluid, free, not have to be in the closet hiding. That's what was part of the agenda that they wanted. They got it. If you are in the same-sex marriage. Now you can share health care, right? It's recognized by the state and local and federal government. Health benefits, medical, right? Life insurance, if that happened, if you need that. All for that. Super straight. Super straight even has a flag. But it's getting heavy backlash from the flag people. What's up with that? It sounds very hypocritical. I've heard of a term, homophobic, right? But you never bring that with heterophobic. That's what this seems like we're into with cancel culture. You have an opposing opinion. Get you out of here. No. How about you just don't support that movement, that person, that organization, whatever it is, that entity? No, it's cancel them. We can substitute cancel with another word, silence. Let's silence them. This movement, super straight, is just that. Expressing that they are super straight. It's not condemning or damning another group. It's just making a line in the sand like everyone else gets to do and saying, I'm straight. Super straight so that you don't get it bent. Source here is KTLA.com, CNBC.com. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris and the spouses are on tour. Did you know that? They're on tour to highlight the benefits of this $1.9 trillion plan to defeat the coronavirus and boost the economy. Now, with stops at vaccination sites, businesses, schools, these are meant to educate the public about different aspects of the American Rescue Plan and how it will help people to get to the other side of the pandemic. You know, like the chicken crossing the road. Now, Biden has said President Barack Obama's administration that he was the vice president, right? But it failed to educate the public about the benefits of its economic recovery plan that Obama put together. Now, he says that he wants to do a better sales job this time around on the details and specifics of his first big legislative victory. Now, my question with this here, because on the surface, it always looks grandiose for the people, right? Since when do presidents leave the White House to go on tour to explain a bill that's already been signed, sealed, and delivered? What's in this bill that the public wouldn't approve of? Why the need to go dolo from state to state? Well, he's not dolo. He's got backup. But going state to state, certain states, and educating the public on this. What's in this bill that we don't know? That's a real question. I mean, people have started to get their $1,400 stimulus package, the stimmy, right? I'm going to give Joe Biden the Harry Potter clap here on that. $1,400. Please. But nonetheless, it's something. And I'm happy that folks are able to put some food on the table, get somewhat caught up on their rent or mortgage payment or whatever bill that they have that was just mounting on them. Whatever relief means for them. We know about payments, direct payments, and some kind of money going to COVID relief, whatever that means, right? Vaccine sites, or you're using some of that money to purchase more dosage. Okay. But the rest of it, we don't know. And I mean the real part, the part that you didn't put on TV. Now, what I'm more concerned about more than this Help Is Here tour, where you got T-shirts and lollipops you're giving out too, free mask. I'm more concerned about this 2-day international summit that was in Alaska that just concluded. Probably haven't heard about it, but Jay Daniel going to break it down for you. Now, in this summit, China and the U.S. were arguing and insulting each other. Now, China's issue is with the condition of our country, cyber attacks and security. You know, how the U.S. treats its people racially and economically. Because remember, all of this stuff, Stop Asian Hate, Black Lives Matter, the world is watching. As my father says, the world is a stage, right? But yeah, like China should be commenting on population treatment. But politics is a dirty, dirty game. I'm more concerned about that, though. Because when we had Trump, he put sanctions on them, on the Chinese, right? And now Biden is trying to undo that. But do we know if that is a thing that should be undone? As Looney Tune as Trump was about many things, some things he did get right. Now, I'm not saying that this is one of them. I'm just saying the man did some good in that office, in that seat. But that don't erase the pain and strife and hardship that he caused for people also. But there is more to this than what is being promoted on mainstream. And when I saw this tour happening, it feels like a little bit of how the magicians do, David Blaine and Copperfield, right? Misdirection. Hey, look over there. Meanwhile, we got this international summit going on. We do not need any beef with any other country. There's too much going on at home to be beefing with other countries, having conflict with them. Smooth it out. Source here is WLBT.com. Got a story here for you, folks. Father and son at his finest. A son shoots his father following an argument. This all happened in Jackson, Mississippi. Here's how it all unfolded. A father and son were arguing. Let me give you the rundown. Things get physical. Punches thrown, a little bit of light wrestling happening there. Lots of explicit language used. I'm not going to share what was said. This is a family show. Now, there is video footage of this incident. Now, you might be asking yourself, well, who's recording? What's going on there? Well, there was another son recording the event. Now, there comes a point where the recording son, that's what we'll call him, felt that things have gone a little too far. He pulls out a pistol and opens fire on his dad in the living room. Yes, you heard me right. In the living room, busting off shots. 2 shots were fired. Dad goes down. Then the 2 sons begin to beat on dad. Mom steps in, breaks it up. Police are called. Son, the shooting son, is taken into custody. And the father is taken to the hospital where he is he's currently in stable condition. Now, physically disciplining your children is one thing. I do not agree with it. I feel that it is very ineffective. But as they say, to each his own. Having a full-on fist fight where the child is bleeding out the mouth, no, that's something else. We passed that. You treating him like he's not your child. I don't give a damn what the boy has did for the father to, and the child is in his teens, right? For dad to go that route, punching, wrestling, slamming, the harsh language, as my grandmother would say, calling the boy out his name, everything other than a child of God, right? That's horrible, despicable. Now, he took 2 to the chest. Was it justified? Do you think that was too far? Do you think it was spot on? I think that the son that shot the father should have stepped in sooner. However, with a better method, because stepping in sooner, he was just going to shoot him sooner. I think that he didn't need to use a pistol. And to beat up on this father after he's got 2 in the chest, sort of cowardly. You could have taken control of the situation sooner and without using a pistol. But what do you think? You think it's justified? Now, this is the time where I need to share with you, if you are enjoying this program, please hit the like, share, and subscribe button. And tap that notification bell so you don't miss a thing. You'll know exactly when I post new content and when I go live. Thank you. Hit the thumbs up. Now, the source here is Wall Street Journal. That is WSJ.com. Scientists in Europe said that they have identified a mechanism that could lead the AstraZeneca vaccine to cause potentially deadly blood clots in rare cases, as well as a possible treatment for it. Now, 2 teams of medical researchers, this is in Norway and Germany, have independently found that the vaccine could trigger an autoimmune reaction causing blood to clot in the brain, which would offer explanation for all these incidents across Europe. There have been a lot of issues with this vaccine across the entirety of Europe. Several European countries have paused their rollouts of the vaccine this week after more than 30 recipients have diagnosed with the condition known as cerebral venous sinus thrombosis. Cerebral is the brain, venous, veins, sinus, we know that's ear, nose, and throat, thrombosis, or CVST. Now, most of the people affected were women under the age of 55. The European Drugs Regulator, which is the equivalency of the FDA in the United States, it's called the European Drugs Regulator in Europe, right? They have ruled that the benefits of AstraZeneca outweighed the potential risk of the vaccine and recommended that the vaccines resume. Norway, Sweden, and Denmark said that they needed more research before restarting their rollouts. Rightfully so. Norway registered 3 cases of the CVST, one of them being fatal. Norway vaccinated around 120,000 people with this shot. Now, Finland suspended the use of AstraZeneca after recording 2 cases of what the authorities called unusual blood clotting. Now, why are you telling us about what's going on in Europe? Why are we talking about that? Why are we doing world things? Why are we talking about world issues? Well, the concern here is that the FDA is considering approving AstraZeneca for use in the United States. How do you feel about this? If it's causing blood clots, particularly in the brain, it's not causing them like in the body just randomly, you can catch a blood clot. No, it's in the brain, concentrated to the brain. The FDA has this on the table because they want to flood the American streets, the medical streets here, with as much and as many vaccines as possible. I think that is aggressive. I understand why, because they want to return to normalcy. You want people to be comfortable again. No inhibitions, right? And in the name of safety on the surface. But if it's potentially causing blood clots in the brain, you want to be given a shot of something that could give you a blood clot to the brain? And the European side of the FDA, right, the drug regulator over there, saying that these are rare cases and not many of them according to the population of the country. So go ahead and release it. Are you fearful that the FDA is capable of doing that in the U.S.? Now, the source here, InceptionEP.com. There is a mental health gym that is on the rise. It's called Inception, and it's in Detroit, Michigan. Now, this is the first mental health gym where the innovative circuit model approach works in a calm, relaxing, and safe place where lives are transformed. I have to tell you that this mental health gym is a Black-owned business. We're going to spotlight it. Mental health is important, just as important as retro fitness, your physical health, right? What is it called? Crunch or Orange Theory, right? That's for your body. This one is for your mind, right? Now, at inception, their program promotes self-discovery, deeper levels of peace, and optimal body functioning. They believe that everyone has a life story that involves physical and psychological injuries and are seeking relief from those injuries. Now, this all began back in 2006 with David McCullough, right? He's the founder and CEO. He began to use an alternative method of brain training that reduced symptoms from stress and traumatic events. There are two circuits that they use there. An inner reset and an inner flow. The inner reset, brain, body, and balance are the focus. The inner flow is system detox. Now, this is all interesting. It is very much needed for the time we live in. Mental health issues have tripled in the last 10 years, right? And it hasn't been fully addressed yet and embraced as a thing. I'm happy that people are taking it seriously and lending support and invoking change in a place for you to improve your mental health. Now, for more information, go to inceptionep.com or on Instagram, you can check them out at I_am_inception. That's on Instagram. Now, the source here for our next topic, theconversation.com. There's a YouTube channel called Invisible People. And I want to talk to you about this book here. You're Leaving When? Adventures in Downward Mobility. This is Annabelle Gurwitch. Hope you can see that. It's very interesting. And let's get into our topic here. So, there's a serious issue on this planet that we need to deal with. So let's dive into it. But this issue is especially bad in America, which has been dubbed the greatest country on the planet. What am I talking about? The homelessness epidemic. It's unnecessary, embarrassing to be a citizen, a resident of this country, and it is so rampant, emotional draining, inhumane, unjust, and a whole host of other words that can describe it. I think the best one to sum it up is pure wrong. Homelessness is a topic that isn't discussed nearly enough. Don't believe me? I'll prove it to you right now. When was the last time you thought about homelessness or spoke about this? Other than being annoyed that somebody's in the middle of the street asking you for some money or a couple of dollars outside the White Castle. Yeah, that's what I thought. Not very much proves the point there. Now, there are some myths surrounding homelessness. We'll touch on 4 of them, if you don't mind. So one is that people are homeless have greater pathologies, right? Or they're more prone, they have more medical issues, right? The stereotypical image of a person who is homeless is a mentally ill, disheveled man who self-medicates with drugs or alcohol. Now, while single men are the most likely to be homeless, in the U.S., families with children represent 1/3 of total homeless population. Falling into the homelessness because of job loss, domestic violence and abuse, divorce, eviction, and health crises. Now, alcohol and drugs often come after the fact, and they're used to numb the pain of loneliness and of depression of being homeless. Number two, homeless people do not want regular work. People are often blamed for their homelessness. People who are homeless are seen as lazy, lacking a work ethic, and irresponsible. Those things are not true. Research shows that many people who are homeless continue to work. Rather than being lazy, a lack of jobs, limited skills or education, and low wages kept them homeless. People choose to be homeless. Number three, based on a 2018 survey, this is in Seattle, 98% said that they would have moved into safe and affordable housing if available. There are rare cases of personal choice favoring a homeless lifestyle, evading work and responsibility, but that is not the norm. Yes, it happens, and there is a percentage of people that just want to be that way, but by and large, that's not the whole of the group, right? For some, childhoods of living in foster care, a foster care system, to living in abusive families has led directly to homelessness. Now, number four, social services are handling the problem. Local governments, nonprofit organizations, and churches mostly address homelessness by providing basic needs such as, food, shelter, but they do little help to actually help people find homes, proper housing. Public perceptions about homelessness matter. They can both broaden our understanding or serve to reinforce our biases. We need to put some more respect on people that are homeless, put more thought, have some empathy, give them help. And again, there's a YouTube channel, Invisible People. And this guy visits all of these homeless communities, mostly on the West Coast, but he visits them and creates a rapport and relationship with these people. And one of the things that are taken for granted that really helps homeless people, besides food, right? Just clean socks, clean, dry socks. We take a lot of things for granted. And the truth is, if you didn't learn this from Corona, that most of us are 2, maybe 3 paychecks away from being homeless ourselves. But for this to be so rampant in this country, it's ridiculous. It's embarrassing. It's insulting, especially when we're dealing with and worried about so much about the border, giving people asylum, safety in a new country, a foreign country for them, worrying about how they're properly cared for. But you got tent cities all over the country. When have you heard the president, commander-in-chief, any of these senators, These governors talk about the homeless issue in their state or city or country and how they're going to eradicate that. You don't. You won't. They can't. It doesn't serve their agenda. It is very doable to fix this problem in America. It needs support, serious effort, and some money. I'm sure that homelessness, shelter, housing, any kind of support for it wasn't in 1.9 trillion bill or any other bill. But we need to fix this and fix it now. Because we have the resources in this country. It's will they do it is the question. How much do we really care as a collective? FNXFit.com. All natural sleep aids, pre and post workout shakes. Try the recovery powder available in raspberry lemonade, grape limeade, snow cone, and watermelon burst. Use promo code Moonbeam for 15% off your order. Again, go to FNXFit.com. Eight victims were shot at 3 massage parlors in Georgia. 4 women of Asian descent are dead. Captain J. Baker excused this savage behavior. I guess only white shooters and killers get this type of treatment. Super Straight is a new movement stirring up things on social media. It's receiving heavy backlash from the LGBTQ community, dubbed as a hate group. Sounds very hypocritical. President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris and their spouses are on tour, a world tour. He claims it's to educate the public on the $1.9 trillion bill. Since when do presidents leave to go on tour to explain a damn bill? What's in it that the public wouldn't approve of? Son shoots his father following an argument. Things get physical. Dad ends up shot, 2 to the chest in the process. We must find better ways to parent. Coping mechanisms must be put in place to address anger and inadequacies in society. Scientists in Europe have identified the AstraZeneca vaccine to be deadly, causing blood clots. Many countries have pulled back on the rollout. Do you think that the FDA will approve this vaccine in spite of these reports? Inception in Detroit, Michigan is a mental health gym that uses 2 circuit methods, an inner reset and an inner flow. For more information, go to inceptionep.com or at I_am_inception on Instagram. Homelessness is a serious planetary issue. There are many myths surrounding it. People who are homeless have greater pathologies. Homeless people do not want regular work. Social services are handling the problem, and people choose to be homeless. We must all join in to eradicate this disease called homelessness. Our collective attitude needs to shift from selfish to selfless. Be sure to check out at GMK_YoungBolo on Instagram and at Chef Redfern on Instagram. I'm Jay Daniel. This has been Moonbeam Radio. I'll see you next week. Take care.